Welcome to Our Business Shenanigans, where strategy meets sarcasm and entrepreneurship gets real. Hosted by Jen and Nicole, best friends and cleaning business owners turned accidental mentors. This podcast dives into the wild ride of running a business, the wins, the failures, and the moments that make you question everything. Here, we get real about leadership, growth, burnout, boundaries, and all of the behind-the-scenes stuff no one talks about, with a healthy dose of sarcasm and storytelling, of course. If you're here for raw conversations, practical insights, and a healthy dose of business mischief, then you're in the right place. No fluff, no filters, just the truth, the laughs, and the lessons. This is Our Business Shenanigans,
where strategy meets sarcasm and entrepreneurship gets real. Welcome back to Our Business Shenanigans. I'm Jen, your friendly neighborhood nice guy.
Yeah, right. And I'm Nicole, your favorite lovable bully, equal parts spicy and nice, depending on the day.
Correct. And today's episode is all about bullies in business, not the old school locker room kind. We're talking about the clients who push too far, the employees who undermine you, and the vendors who gaslight you, and the partnerships that make you question your sanity.
Because here's the thing, just because you run the business doesn't mean you're immune to being pushed around. And today we're calling it out. Unless you like being manipulated, second guessing yourself and losing sleep, in which case maybe skip this episode.
Yeah, but don't skip this episode. I'm going to be clear. We're going to give you the real tools for recognizing bullying behavior, setting boundaries, and taking your power.
And because being the boss doesn't mean being a doormat. And if you need help practicing your firm but fair face, I got you.
I'll just be over here smiling and softly enforcing boundaries.
And I'll be over here flipping tables if I have to. Let's go.
All right, we're diving into what bullying actually looks like in business setting, how to spot it early, and most importantly, how to shut it.
So let's dive into what bullying looks like in a business. Spoiler, it's not just yelling. Bullying can be subtle, constant undermining, gaslighting, pushing limits, guilt tripping, or threatening bad reviews. It can be clients who treat you like the help, employees who manipulate or create toxic drama, or even vendors who ignore your concerns and overtalk you.
Yep. Bullying thrives in gray areas. We've had podcast episodes about policies already, both client and technician facing or employee facing. That's where bullies live, in those gray areas when you don't have policies. I didn't mean it that way, or you're just being too sensitive. Sometimes we brush it off as just a tough personality, but that's how toxic behavior hides.
And if you feel like you're constantly being tested, walking on eggshells, or second guessing yourself, that's not leadership, that's surviving. Before we dive into the next segment, I would like to share some examples. Jen, I'm sure you have some examples.
Oh my God, so many.
I bully you all the time.
Oh, correct. All of my examples are you, by the way.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for giving me that much authority. I was thinking about this episode and I was like, actually, I was thinking about the situation. I passed a pest control truck on the way to work, and they had a big black widow, like part of their truck, like it was like on the wrap, and it reminded me of a situation. I was like, that is perfect for today's episode. One time, we clean for a lot of really good property managers, so I want to throw that out there, but I think most of the bullying that we have received is probably realtors and property managers. And I say that we have some really good ones, but we've been through some bad ones, right?
We have some amazing ones, but I agree with you. Some of the worst people that we have had to deal with bullying wise have been in that line of work.
And one time I was cleaning a house, and I remember this is like when I started really putting my foot down, because before I would do whatever. Like, I needed money, you send it my way, I'm doing it. Like I didn't have a boundary, right?
Yeah, I'll just kill those roaches while I'm cleaning. No big deal. I'll be your pest control too.
Yeah, I'll just replace all my towels after we leave. No big deal. Like, that's not expensive. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Well, we were cleaning a move out, and she told me that the sunroom, she called to tell me that the sunroom was infested with, it's like a big sunroom, was infested with black widows, but they really needed it dusted and vacuumed. And the pest, that somebody's moving in like this week, but the pest guy couldn't be there until next week. I said, absolutely not. Because I'm just thinking, if I get bit by a black widow, like I've never been bit by one that I know of. Hey, what if I'm out of work for a few days? Like, I'm going to be...
What if it kills you? Aren't they deadly?
I don't know. I just knew I didn't want to get bit by one. And I knew that, like, there's things that can go wrong. So I said, absolutely not. So I'm a firm believer in business that you don't bring a problem without a solution. So I wasn't just going to say just no, right? But that would have sufficed as well, just to make that very clear. I told her no, and I said, how about this? If you want me to come back after the property manager comes, after the pest control company comes to take care of it, I'll come and clean it then, but I cannot do it now. Well, they quit sending me work because of that. I can't tell you how many times I had like a property manager, and I swear it was like all the worst jobs were the ones that they would call us. Like I had another property management group that would send me video tours of like a unit, and we would schedule it. They sent me a video tour, and like the sink had some water in it. It wasn't a big deal. But I sent a team to clean it, and they call me and they're like, we absolutely cannot clean this unit. And what it is the video tour was old. Like I checked, you can see the date because I uploaded it on YouTube, and it was like almost a year prior. It was like 9 months prior. And the whole place was basically had like an inch of water, including on top of the cabinets. It was like, I don't know if a pipe burst above them. The kitchen sink was full, but it was all black mold. And I was like, we can't do the video you sent me versus what we're walking into are two completely different scopes of work.
100% bait and switch.
Yeah. And so I was like, we can't. And again, it's like when you tell them no, you notice you don't hear from them for a while.
Right.
I have so many situations. A builder 3 times put them on my schedule to go clean this huge house. So, it takes up your whole crew for the whole day. Go to clean, and every time it's not ready. Like one time, the common courtesy is, as a builder, please tell your cleaning crew when they're scheduled to come on Friday. If Thursday you still are nowhere near finished, tell them so they can make other arrangements. Don't let me show up to the job. So we showed up 3 times. A whole crew cleared the schedule, and it wasn't ready. And then finally, when it was ready, he was like, hey, can you come this day? I said, I'm at this point, I'm not moving my work anymore. And I said, I can come the day before or the day after, but not that one. And that wasn't good enough. They hired another company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this huge house that I literally already had 3 vacant days this month to clean. And then they get upset when you start implementing show up fees or late fees or, all these different skipped cancellation fees, you name it. They get upset and they quit sending you work. And it's like, I literally bent over backwards. I can't tell you how many fridges I've cleaned covered in maggots, and you're going to quit sending me work because of the one time I put my foot down.
Right.
That stinks.
Well, because here's the thing. They're allowed to have policies, and they're allowed to have guidelines, and they're allowed to treat their customers however they want to. But the minute you treat them the same way and just try to hold the line on your business, you're not even being unreasonable. Like, don't cancel on me when I'm sending people to your job today because I have nowhere else to put them. Like, that is a reasonable expectation of business. It was not a surprise to them that the house was not ready to be cleaned that day.
No, don't let us show up to a job and see 20 contractors running around trying to finish up. Like the moment we showed up, like that's not fair. You could have told me the day before.
Right. No, but we've had the same thing. We've had property managers that I worked for years ago, back when I was still cleaning. And so, they're like, oh my gosh, you just do such a great job. Because of course I do. I'm the owner, which meant I overcleaned, I undercharged, I took way too long, all of that. And, it would be, oh my gosh, I would pay triple what you're paying now because you're so reliable, whatever. And I increased my hourly rate by $5. Ghost town. Never call me again. So they don't. Not all of them. We have some amazing realtors. I have a few that I could list off right now that are absolutely phenomenal. And they're just like, you know what? I just need to clean, get it done, whatever it takes. Tell me what it costs afterwards. But then we have other ones that it's like, no, I want it for the cheapest amount that you can get it for. Do the bare minimum that you can just to make it like when people walk in, they're kind of fooled by the cleanness and, don't look at any of the baseboards or anything. And that's just not how we do business. And so don't let people bully you into doing something that isn't your normal business practice, because it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. There's going to be that clean where you go and do, because your name is on it. They sell the house and the new people move in and they call you and they're like, we are not happy with this clean. Oh, I'm so sorry. We did the clean we were told we were going to have a clean house and you did it. And then you have to deal with that or whatever the case may be. But we've had the same thing with we had a realtor not that long ago. And we had an attorney not that long ago, both very like high respected professions, both threatened us with, you don't know who I am. You don't know my outreach to the community. You don't know, I'm going to tell all the 250 other realtors that I work with or whatever. That's abusive. I'm sorry, but like, that's just abusive.
It's abusing their power that they think that they have.
Correct.
If only they knew your outreach in the community.
So to me, like, that's just icky. Like, no, I know,
Yeah.
no, I know you are, but for those who aren't in our area, I try to be very involved in my community. One, because this is my hometown. I have lived here my whole life. My mom has lived here her whole life. My grandmother has lived here her whole life. Like, this is my community. I don't plan on going anywhere else. So my goal is to always make it better. And if I'm not working towards making it better, then what am I doing? However, that being said, that is so icky to me. I would never, like, no matter how bad of an experience, and I've had some awful experiences with local businesses, would I ever go online and start blasting anybody? I have plenty of reason to do so, but that's not who I am. And I just don't feel like that's good karma. And it just feels icky to me. And I don't understand how people can do that after like one bad experience.
Yeah. And the thing about when you're working with people like that is they want to exploit you. They want you to essentially work for free. And even client facing, I can't tell you how many times somebody's moving out and they're like, I just need a receipt. Give me like, I only want to pay like $100. The thing is, like, yeah, that sounds good in theory. Like, we will not do a vacant clean without a full move out. And the reason why is because you can get blacklisted by property managers and realtors, you name it. Like, I can't tell you how many property managers I've met. They're like, you can use these approved vendors and these vendors you absolutely cannot hire. So it's like there is a blacklist and they don't know when you're providing that receipt that, yeah, this person only asked me to clean their bathroom. I could be jeopardizing my future work just because I provided you the receipt that by contract gave you your security deposit back, and I'm not going to jeopardize my business for that just because you want to be cheap.
Nope. So now let's talk about why bullies target small business owners. Most small business owners are givers. Like, we've started a business because we want to serve, help, and we want to avoid conflict. Bullies sense that. They exploit the gap between wanting to be kind and needing to be respected. They sense your weakness and exploit them. Underhired, they can feel that and push all of the boundaries.
Also, we're exhausted. Burned out people don't fight back. And let's be real, female founders especially get targeted more often.
Absolutely. And I'm not one to quick to pull the gender card, but I 100% agree with this. I feel like, especially in an industry where we deal with trades and stuff like that, we deal with more men, like in the building industry and stuff like that. And so I feel like it is a little bit different and it's easier to be bullied and manipulated in that. Also, as business owners, we're trying to build something that keeps clients happy, not look like jerks. Bullies take advantage of that silence. So most people will look at a small business owner and go, oh, they need me more than I need them. They need my business. They need the money. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. Oh, you have an opening tomorrow and I really need you to come and clean. Well, I will pay you $100 to come and clean this 3,000 square foot house, top to bottom, ovens, refrigerators, AC vents, everything included, because I know you need the work. And there are so many people. We see it every single day on Facebook. And if you start paying attention to the Facebook, like local groups, you'll see it too. And you'll start to notice it for every industry. But especially for cleaning, people will go, I need a house cleaner. I'm willing to pay $15 an hour. We've talked about this on other podcasts too. Or, I need a house cleaner for tomorrow. I only want somebody that's, kind of doing under the table. I'll pay cash. No, that's exploiting you. And it's taking advantage of the fact that you just need money. I just remembered the story. We had a lady years ago. She did not like our price. And she literally replied, I wish I could go back and find it so I can like put a screenshot of it in the video. She literally replied with, your prices are ridiculous. I could go find some homeless person on the side of the road and pay them $50 to clean my whole house and not.
Remember when you were on the way to work one morning and a homeless guy like spit on your hood?
Oh my gosh, I don't know why I attract all of the crazies. Not only spit on my hood, spit blood, like he was spitting up blood on my hood and then like tried to start writing in it on my hood.
He was trying to clean your car for $50
my
so
God.
you could have a clean car.
It makes me want to gag just thinking about it. And I was literally just at a stop sign. He was crossing the street like everything was normal. I thought there was no issues. And then he literally stopped in front of me and started yelling something. I don't know what he was even yelling. And then I was like waving my hands. I'm like, no, 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 no. And then he started spitting on my hood, spitting blood on my hood of my white car, and then like starts writing on it. And so I tried to put it in reverse and back away, but I actually put it in neutral. So when I pushed on the gas, it sounded like I was revving my engine, and then he ran off. But at least he ran off, because I freeze in those kind of situations. I'm like, what do I do?
I love that you put it in neutral.
Because I was so flabbergasted. And this was only like 2 months after, y'all, I attract the crazy. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But this was literally only 2 months after I had had a road rage incident where a woman literally pulled her car across 2 lanes of traffic to block me from going anywhere, was throwing full bottles of water at my car, trying to break my windows while I'm on the phone with the police, and just absolutely going crazy. So I already had PTSD from this, and I'm like, what is happening? How, like, I'm literally just dropping my kids off at school. Both of those incidents were like 2 minutes from dropping my kids off from school. So thankfully I didn't have either one of them with me, but I don't know. I attract the crazy.
You need a dash cam. You could get rich off of those videos.
I feel like that would attract even more if I did that. I need to avoid. Anyway,
So
I'm sorry.
Go over the red flags.
Absolutely. You go ahead, list them off.
Okay, so red flags list, things to look for. If they ask you for special treatment, especially before signing an agreement. If they name drop or threaten reviews, just like what you said earlier, or you don't know my reach in the community, or whatever they said. If you feel anxious every time they email or call you, that's a sign. And if an employee constantly misunderstands expectations. This red flag list is funny because it brings to mind, I can't tell you, there's this one lady that would get us to clean like flip houses of hers. And almost every time she wanted me to prioritize scheduling, get them in tomorrow, prioritize scheduling, right? And I need your best crew and be easy on my pocketbook because I'm already over budget. You want me to prioritize scheduling to get you in ASAP, send my best crew, and charge you pennies. That is like the most insulting thing. Don't even send me the work, because you're insulting me and saying that my time is invaluable. I'm sorry that you overpaid for your floors or whatever was over budget. Maybe you should reevaluate your budgets, because I shouldn't have to come out of my pocket sending my best crew on your demand day and time. Like,
right.
That's right. Insulting. Do not say that, because when you say that, I want to send my newest crew.
Right. Or are you kidding? That much money? It's only going to take you 2 hours. I'm sorry. Do you do this for a living every day and see what it takes to do these houses every single day? And when you clean your house in 2 hours, are you actually cleaning your house in 2 hours, or are you just moving some stuff around and taking, like a Clorox wipe to your countertops, or, your bathroom sink or whatever? Your story just reminded me, there's a saying, you have 3 options. You can get it fast, you can get it cheap, or you can get it quality, but you can only pick 2. You can't ever get all 3 at the same time. Never.
Yeah. I went over that in one of the episodes we did before. It was the triangle where you can get 2, but you can't get all 3. But let's cover how to shut it down without losing your control. I feel like I vented quite a lot. This was a great therapy session. So thank you for meeting with me today. But let's go ahead and dive into the upside of how to shut it down. So step 1, have clear policies, then actually enforce them. Live and breathe those policies. Step 2, stop over-explaining. Boundaries don't need a 4-page paragraph justification. Yeah, stop over-explaining. Just like when the woman, the property manager, asked me to vacuum that sunroom, no was a complete sentence. But I did offer a solution. If once you get it taken care of, we can return next week and take care of it. But not before. You can even use phrases like, this tone is not acceptable, or let's stick to facts, and this isn't aligned with how we operate.
This tone isn't acceptable. I had a conversation with a woman who swore that one of my technicians did something with her Aldi bag.
I remember that.
Couldn't find it anywhere. It was a 20-minute conversation, and so many times in that conversation, I was so proud of myself for keeping my cool and honestly not crying, because my default is to cry. So like, I'm thankful I didn't cry. But so many times in that conversation, I had to stop and say, ma'am, you're not going to yell at me. If you're going to continue having that tone of voice, then I'm going to get off the phone and you can call me back when we can have a civil conversation. Because just because you've hired us to do a service does not mean you get to abuse us. You don't get to talk to me that way. You don't get to talk to my staff that way. You don't get to talk to anybody else that way. You wouldn't accept it if somebody was talking to you that way. And in this case, it turns out, like, at the end of the day, she called back and she was like, oh, I found the bag. And I think it was like in the back of her car, or it was, she had moved it somewhere, but literally spent 20 minutes on a phone call telling me how I was being condescending, when all I was doing was saying, do you want me to come and help you find it? Like, I want to resolve this issue. Let me come to your house. Let me help you look for it. I have the before and after pictures, and where you said that this bag was is not in the before pictures. So let's, go back and look through everything else. You're being condescending. You're saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. And then at the end of the day, she called us and apologized because she found it. So, like,
Can I add something?
absolutely.
I'm going to try and say this. I'm going to censor my thought on this. That was a donated cleaning. She
It
didn't
was a
pay for
donated
a cleaning.
Correct.
She did not pay for it. So with that being said, you donated your resources, your time, your technician, your business to get yelled at on the phone.
Yep.
Just, I felt like that was an important point that you didn't bring in, but I feel like that was an important point.
I know. I was really trying to be
You're so
diplomatic
graceful
about it.
You're so
I
sweet.
am. That's why. See, I'm the nice one, and you're the spicy nice one.
Yeah.
So
you're nice and I'm spice.
Yeah, I like that. So the other ways of handling it is like the mirror tactic, repeating what they said. There's a gentleman on Instagram, TikTok, all of those. Oh my gosh, he's an attorney, and he's all about communication. I can't think of his name. I will have to find it and post it in the comments. But he talks about this. So when they say something to you that is just outlandish, like, repeating it back to them so that they understand how outlandish it is. So it's well, if you don't give me this, I'm going to give you a bad review. So just so I'm clear, if I don't give you what you want, you're going to go on and leave me a bad review. Doubling down, like, that, this is what you're saying to me, right? And then address things early on. Don't let them snowball. So again, we've talked about this and having boundaries and clear policies, but if you've let them get away with it one time, the next time they're going to take a little bit more. And the next time they're going to take a little bit more. That's what we try to drive home so much with our cleaning technicians, because they're in the houses every day. They get to build relationships with our clients. And 100%, most of our clients are absolutely amazing. And I am not referring to anybody in specific that we have now, but we've had clients in the past where the technician gets comfortable and they're like, oh, but can't you just scrub my baseboards today? It won't take you much longer. And the technician feels bad and they do it. So, like, give them an inch and they will take a mile sometimes. Some won't do it, but there are a lot of people out there that will. So be careful with that. And then setting the standard and onboarding with clients and employees, because you teach people how to treat you. Are you ready for this role playing? All right. So we're going to do a little bit of role playing because we've gotten really good at this and I like it lately. It's so much fun. So this one is the Bully in Disguise Client Edition. And I will be the sweet client that's calling to try to take advantage. So are we ready?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I am paying a lot of money. I just feel like that you guys should be able to let me skip today's visit just this one time. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal.
And we feel like you should reread the agreement where it says we don't do same day reschedules. Okay, hold on. Pause. I wouldn't say it like that to a client, but
we're proving a point here. Like, obviously don't do this with your people, but
I'm thinking this. I'm thinking this.
Yes.
Though.
Yes.
So, okay.
Right. I mean, don't you know who I am? I just didn't think it'd be such a big ask. I referred so many people to you too. I thought we had a good relationship.
And we still can, just not if manipulation is part of it.
And then this is where I politely remind the client that we do have boundaries so our team doesn't have burnout. And remind them that if our team does not work today, they don't get paid. It is not our fault that at the last minute, you forgot you had a cruise and you're leaving for vacation today.
And this is where I not so politely offer the cancellation link if our terms suddenly don't work for you.
I'll send it with a smiley face so it seems friendlier.
Yeah, no. I try not to use the emojis with the clients.
I'm just kidding.
But Yeah, so I just hire people that are better at dealing with the clients than me. So when people are like, when people ask, they're like, I want to speak to the owner. Da, 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 da. My office manager, one lady was so abrasive. She flat out told her, she said, like she hesitated. She was like, I'm nicer than the owner. She's not going to tell you what you want to hear. like basically that's along the lines of what she said. Cause like, she's
Remember
not
that
wrong.
remember that one time that client was giving you such a hard time because you couldn't clean on your wedding day and you offered to cancel your wedding to go clean for her?
Okay. I forgot about her. She would have been the perfect example for this. It was when bully meets bully. Okay. This woman, oh my gosh, I'm fine on time. So this woman, we cleaned her house in her office. I mean, she was disgusting from the moment that I went to go meet with her, to be clear. Like the way she talked to the people in her building. Remember thinking I would absolutely hate to work with this woman. She not just an example. She accidentally spilled a cup of coffee. Like she went to go move it. It was on the conference table and she went to go move it and she spilled coffee all over the carpet. And then for the remainder of our tour of this huge office, she literally hounded everybody who effing had their coffee in the conference room because it spilled everywhere and it's their fault and they're going to effing clean it. And I'm just like,
She said that?
to
Like,
every
for real,
person
for
she saw
real?
in the hallways, every single person. And then she was like, was that your coffee? Like she was really mad. And it's like, ma'am, I wanted to be like, ma'am, you were the one that spilled it. They didn't spill it. It was on the table. But, you know, that's her mindset. Everybody owed her everything. But that's just an example of her personality. So anyways, she wanted, her office was clean on Saturdays, but that was my wedding day. And the assigned technician that was going to clean, we only have one weekend tech, was going to be at my wedding. With that said, I contacted her weeks in advance to let her know, like, hey, can we come Friday? She's like, no. And I said, well, usually we would offer Sunday as an alternative with the Saturday. You know, we just have one. And she knew that when she brought us on, we only have one tech for the weekend. But the thing about it is the Sunday after my wedding was Easter. And so I was like, so that's Easter, so I can't ask my team to work that day. And she was like, what do you mean? And like, she even like put me on speaker and was like, honey, listen to this. Like, you have to hear this. Like, she was nasty.
She was awful.
And I kept telling her, I said, look, we can come Friday if Friday works. Like, I tried offering solutions. She wasn't having any of it. She's like, I have a business to run. And she would literally call back almost daily and like talk to whoever would answer the phone and say, I just want to confirm, yeah, are you coming Saturday, da da da? And my office manager was like, no, ma'am. I was like, no, ma'am. Then finally, like the fourth time, we literally would be on these 30-minute circle phone calls of her trying every which way to explain why her office needed to be cleaned.
Right. It was just a loop on repeat.
And I couldn't get it through her head. We can come Friday or we can skip, no penalties to you. But it got to the point where I was fed up and I straight up told this woman, I said, how about this? I will cancel my wedding and I will come clean it myself. She was like, oh. Like she could not, like her reaction was worth all the hours I spent on the phone with this woman. And she specifically called back, like we got off the phone and I think she was taken back that somebody stood up to her. We got off the phone and then she called me back and she goes, are you a franchise? And I said, no, ma'am, I'm the only owner. Like, I'm the owner. We're not a franchise. And I ended up firing her. I mailed her key back and discontinued her house. And I want to be clear, I think that one client was over 16,000 in annual revenue, but you're not going to talk to me like that.
Not all money is good money.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And there was never going to be a solution. Like she kept calling, like you had to shock her out of that to be like, I've given you all the options. There are no other options. The last option is I can absolutely cancel my wedding for you and come clean for you. Like what else do you want me to say?
I asked everybody else on my team, does anybody want, extra hours? Does anybody want to cover this? And I was trying for weeks leading up to it. And everyone that I possibly could have had on the weekend, they're like, I can't. So,
and you gave plenty of notice. Like it's not like you called her on Friday and said, oh, by the way, my wedding's tomorrow. So nobody's going to come clean. Like you tried weeks in advance.
And it was like 2 weeks in advance because I called her over 2 weeks in advance. It's like 2.5 weeks because I was really trying to get it covered. And so like, I'm waiting on a few responses from people. They're like, oh, I'll get back to you. It's not a requirement for my team to work on the weekends. So my thing is I was actively trying to actually get it covered. Like I didn't want to not clean her office, but let me be clear too. It's not an easy job because she was the type of client. So we don't have like office staff on the weekend. If we did, our prices would have to be more to cover the overhead. That's why I try not to take weekend work. With that said, she was the client that every Saturday I was getting a call from the technician. The alarm would be blaring for 30 minutes. I remember one time about to hop on a plane and I had to pull my computer out to message her, to ask her, please turn off the alarm. And it was every single weekend. And I thought to myself, I am not dealing with this on my wedding day. I can't ask my office manager was coming to my wedding that day, but I can't ask these other people to clock in and handle you. It's just it didn't work, right?
Correct.
But she was nasty.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't
was.
like her.
No, those
It
phone
felt
calls were
really
crazy.
good letting her go. It felt so good. It was like one of those like drop mic, I'm done, I'm the boss, I'm the baddie. Like,
this is my business.
yeah, like I was like, yeah, no.
Yep. So what I'm hearing is that you give everybody that is listening permission to fire that client.
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about bullying from inside the business, because we've talked about the client facing, and I would like to be clear. Like I said earlier, I would say about 98% of our clients are some of the most amazing human beings on the planet. The ones that we have had issues with are no longer a client. Like we won't keep them. I love our clients so dearly, and I love that they trust us with their business. These are ones that sometimes sneak in and you don't find out until, 3 or 4 visits later.
The way I explained it to my office is if we're cleaning, so it might seem like a lot when it's like every week you have 1, maybe 2 max, like really those calls that keep you up at night when you're thinking about it, of those just like really nasty situations. I said, it seems like a lot, but let's put it in perspective. When you're cleaning over 100 houses a week, if you had 1 bad phone call, that's 1%. And if you have a whole week with no bad phone calls, you see what I'm saying? So it's really not that often when you consider the volume of what you're serving.
Yep. All right. So sometimes the bully wasn't the client. It was somebody we hired. We both have stories of insubordinate team members who rally others, talk behind your back, do whatever. You've got those people who always have to have the last word. They always have to be right. That is still a form of bullying. Like at the end of the day, if I am telling you something as the employee and you are constantly combating me, my least favorite is clients give us feedback, right? Feedback is a gift, because that client very easily could have said, oh, this cleaning day sucked, I'm just canceling services. We would never know why. We would never know what the issue was. So when clients give us feedback, 1, that's job security, but 2, they have trusted us enough to make it right. All of our technicians, if you ask them, they want the feedback because they understand that that is job security. They know if they keep our clients happy, that our clients are going to want to keep coming back. So we don't ever look at feedback as something negative at our company. Every once in a while, you get a bad seed and you bring them feedback and it's like, no, I did this, this, and this. Okay, but the client sent pictures. Well, I don't care what the client sent. I did this, this, and this. Okay, but we have pictures. We need you to go back and clean it. Well, I can't reach that. What do they want me to do about it? Okay, like that's bullying behavior. Like the appropriate response is, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I don't know how I missed that. How do I make this client happy? Or, you know what? You're right, Jen. I'm so sorry. I can't get that any better because I can't reach it. Maybe we need to send somebody back that's a little bit taller than me, or can I bring a stepladder in? All of that stuff should have been communicated during the job. But that's how you handle that kind of feedback. Because again, if our clients love us and respect us enough to give us feedback, then it is our job to make it right. And it's our technician's job to make it right and learn to be the best that they can be, because everybody has an off day. Every once in a while, somebody's going to have an off day.
And the most common thing, I think, is the mistake of over accommodating employees who weaponize loyalty or push boundaries. That is so common. And I think that that's the heart of most business owners, with employees at least. Business owners with employees tend to want to be a peacemaker. They want everyone to be happy. We never bring anybody on our team with the thought process of, I can't wait to fire them. If I brought you on my team, it's because I saw potential in you.
Right.
And so you will go above and beyond to make that work. But sometimes that kindness gets interpreted as weakness.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And there have been times that we have hired people who just, they thought they knew absolutely everything about everything. And, that's exhausting as well. When you're having to deal with an employee and you're like, okay, this is what we're going to do here. Well, I don't think that that's how you should handle it. You should do this. And if it's constructive, okay, but it's also in the way it's presented. Like you can say, you know what, Jen, that's a great idea, but I've just found this new product and I'd love to show it to you. That's different than saying, that's not going to work. We should do it this way. I'm not going to do it that way. Or that person who, when they're on a job with another employee, talking bad about the company. Like that's another form of bullying. You're now rallying other people to get behind your negativity. And that's not okay. And those are the type of people you've got to nip in the bud in the beginning. So if your gut is screaming that something feels off, it's probably not indigestion. It's probably intuition. And
I like that.
I feel like that hits really home.
So let's dive into building a no bully culture from day one. So first and foremost, the culture starts with you. Enforce the energy you want in the room. Reward alignment, not just performance. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, her attitude really sucks. She's really mean. Nobody wants to work with her, but she's my best cleaner. Fire her.
But all the clients love her.
Fire her.
She only gets 5-star reviews.
She's the reason why all the other technicians are leaving. Fire her.
Or you cater to that person and they get all the easy jobs because they only want to do the jobs that they want to do. So they want those recurring cleans that are super easy. They're in and out quickly. They know their clients or whatever. And the slightest little bit thing that changes there, then they don't want to do that house anymore. So you cater to them and build a schedule where they get all the easy ones. How's that fair to the rest of the people on your team? This job is not easy. You're going to get deep cleans. You're going to get hard cleans. You're going to get those priority cleans that are more taxing because it's out of our norm. You have to go with the flow in this business so much. And if you stop and you are catering to that one technician because they're a great cleaner and those clients love them and they're going to cancel if we let them go or if they move on, then you're being held hostage. And we've talked about that before. If that everybody on your team you had to treat like that one person, how would your business look? So nice doesn't have to mean soft. You can be clear and kind. And remember, your company can't be a safe space for your team if you don't feel safe in it yourself. So if you are walking on eggshells around a certain team member, if you are seeing your office walking around on eggshells because of a certain team member, then how can you create a safe space if that's the case?
So I think this was a really good episode. I do too. This was a great therapy session for me. I didn't realize I had so much to talk about.
We share wounds, not scars.
So let's do a takeaway segment. What can you do this week? All right. So first and foremost, you could audit your client list. Who gives you anxiety? What boundaries have you failed to enforce? Look at your team. Who drains you? Who energizes you?
Right. Just rewrite one boundary. Practice saying no without apologizing. My God, that one is so hard. And remind yourself that this business was built to give you freedom, not anxiety. That is the beauty of being a business owner. This is your business. You get to run it however you want to.
And I hope everyone listens to this and hears this. You are allowed to outgrow people.
Correct. That's really hard, especially when you're like, oh, but this person has been with me since the beginning. They've gone through all the changes. Understood, but sometimes you outgrow the person. Sometimes you are growing a business that is going to outgrow them because they may not have the same mindset. So understand that that's okay. Boundaries are a form of service to yourself and to your business, to your employees, to your clients, to everybody. The stronger your standards, the better the people you attract.
And remember, being a lovable bully is a brand, not a business strategy.
I'm just here to hold the boundary and smile politely while you storm out. Anyway, if this episode felt like therapy, you're not alone. Send it to your fellow business owner who needs to take their power back. And tell us, have you ever dealt with a business bully? DM us your story or leave it in the comments. We might just read it in a future episode.
And don't forget to follow, rate, and review. Unless you're a troll, then go listen to something else. And you don't have to thumbs down our video. Just keep scrolling.
Right. I discovered very quickly on last night when I was updating YouTube with some of our videos on our shorts, there are people disliking our shorts. I don't know. I am offended. but not really. Like, go ahead. At least it's interaction.
They have no taste.
They don't. They
It's
really
okay.
don't. All right. So thanks for joining us on Our Business Shenanigans. Until next time, keep it strategic, sarcastic, and strong.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.